That's amazing.
The dogs.
Is that even a real story?
That's a fact.
This is complete nonsense, Greg.
Read a book.
I guess you are kind of artistic.
Incredible.
What are you even talking about, man?
Go for broke.
I don't even know what that means. Let's get it going.
Let's get her going. Keep her going, baby.
All right, here we go. Episode 17?
No idea.
No idea. It's late. We golfed,
We golfed.
and it went terribly.
It went great.
Yeah?
It wasn't terrible. I mean, first time golfing for the year. You don't get out to golf that often in upstate New York until it's, June.
Right.
So we went out. Course was good, though.
We've had rain until what?
Yesterday.
June 1st?
Yesterday.
It's literally rained every single day. I know you don't believe us, but it has. That's Western New York for you.
Well, it's the greenness of the green. But yeah, no, golf went fine. I thought we did all right. I mean, we had some definite shanks.
Oh, yeah.
We ripped some into the woods.
Yeah.
But we also had some great shots as well, man. Driving was good. You had some real good liners with the mid-range clubs.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, like your 5 iron.
Oh, I can hit an iron almost perfect. But getting off the tee is not
It's
where
a challenge.
my game's at.
No, Greg actually has perfected the 54-degree iron.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sorry if you guys don't want to listen to golf talk. We'll minimize it to 4 minutes. But yeah, Greg has perfected the 54-degree. And what I mean by perfected is that he can actually hit it off of the green, not fuck up the green, but literally chip it into your pocket. It's unbelievable.
100%.
But
wanna know
if
why?
why?
You want to know why?
Yeah.
So part of me being the pool boy is working in the golf club for the hotel. So what I do the entire time is take like the wedge or the sand wedge and just chip pine cones that fall off this pine cone that's right next to like the
Pine
golf
tree
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am deadly accurate. I can just fucking kill it.
If you can chip a pine cone, you can chip a ball. What is it? If you can
dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Absolutely. But yeah, we golfed today after work. It was fun. Quick 9. I think we did okay. I mean, we probably
He's
shot.
lying. We did terribly.
We played 9 holes, but we probably shot a 90 to 100 overall, which isn't terrible. Realistically, I mean, we did okay.
On 9 holes, 100, that's awful.
No, I said if you were going to double it up, whether there's a more difficult front 9 or back 9, that means we shot a 45 on the front.
Sense. When you hit like a 9 or a 10 on a hole, you're not a good golfer, Scott.
Well, everybody does it every once in a while, man. Whatever.
Hey, we were outside. We had a good time. Question for you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Do you remember 1990s, the Bloodhound Gang?
I was born in 89. I remember some of the 90s.
Look it up.
Well, describe the Bloodhound Gang. I'm picturing it.
A song.
Oh, it's a song. Who's it by?
The Bloodhound Gang.
Oh, what's the name of the song?
Mammals.
Yeah, I remember that song. Why don't you start singing it?
I don't know how it intros to it, but or Vanga Boys. So, anyways, the reason I bring this up, Danelle and I recently just had like a 1990s review of like Eurodance. So the Vanga Bus. The Vanga Bus is coming and everybody jumping.
That was the Six Flags theme park.
Oh, 100%.
Song.
And then
for
the
so
old guy
many years.
dancing. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. So what's the song by Bloodhound Gang?
Mammals, I'm pretty sure.
Mammals. I'm not finding it right now. We'll go back to it. I'll find it.
Well, get out of radio, dude.
I'll find it.
You have one job, is to find this song.
I know. I'll find it, bro.
But yeah, so anyways, we took like a Eurodance 90s review. Danelle knew all the songs. I was absolutely even more in love with her.
Well, yeah, but she was born like mid 90s.
93.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, a third of the way through.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just very impressed with her musical knowledge. I pictured her as like a Kelly Clarkson diehard fan. She was like, nah.
Backstreet Boys.
Just used to throw on the techno and just dance in my room. I was like, oh my God, this is why I love you.
I'm actually okay if she is fully aware of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh yeah,
soundtrack.
Dude, the 90s were absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean they're coming back. The Backstreet Boys are still doing their thing.
Think about it. You had grunge.
Oh yeah,
grunge. Alice in Chains.
Yep.
Wow, I can't even make words right now.
Alice in Chains. You had
Nirvana, Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, rest in peace. Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
Who else was grunge? I mean, grunge was kind of like a very specific time frame.
There were a bunch of them. But anyway, so you had like the grunge, which was like, in my opinion, the last time people actually sung like from their hearts. Maybe Adele.
Maybe
Adele.
But
after that, everyone just like, I don't. Do they even write their own music?
I don't even most know. People don't. I could see how you're saying like a lot of people are sellouts at this stage, but I do love Nirvana. I do love Pearl Jam. Awesome documentary on Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder that Greg and I watched actually like 4 years ago.
Don't remember it.
We did, but it was awesome. But yeah, grunge was awesome, and grunge makes it seem like it's a terrible genre of music, but actually grunge is very,
it's deep.
It's deep. It is deep. Some of it's emotionally saddening, but love it.
But the other end of the spectrum, because the thing about the 90s, there was no gray. It was only black and white, right? You were just polar opposites. The other end of the spectrum was like Eurodance and boy bands.
Yeah.
Which were fun as fuck.
Love both of them as well. So I'm trying to look up Mammals. What is it by again? I'm sorry.
Just type in the Bloodhound Gang. Oh my God.
Blood. Oh yeah. Here
Everyone, I hate Scott, by the way.
When you're.
Yeah, the first one. Bad touch. Sorry.
Got her. Found her.
Are we even going to be able to hear this?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll find
Play
out.
it.
Is it me and
Fast
you,
forward
baby?
A little
we
bit.
ain't nothing but mammals.
Yes, that is the song.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we took a real road trip down the 90s Eurodance songs, and it was awesome.
Oh man, this music video is ridiculous.
It's crazy though. They like literally see these hot chicks walking down the street and shoot darts into them and drug them and knock them out and just carry them off to some unknown location to do who knows what.
What did you call it?
Eurodance.
Eurodance.
So, the 90s didn't really have a name for like what we would call EDM or electronic, so they just called it Eurodance.
It was like new age electronic.
Eiffel 65.
Yeah.
I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But yeah, I mean, this music
just gets
video
you fucking fired up and ready to go.
Absolutely, 7th grade dance. But yeah, this music video also, the way that you just described it, the Bloodhound Gang, the Bad Touch is what I'm playing. It's not, if that's Mammals, great. Yeah. But yeah, a bunch of girls just getting abducted, whatever. All right, so continue.
All right, next question. Your opinion on suits with no socks.
Okay. It depends. So, Greg, look at me right now. Look at me.
I'm looking into your eyes.
Yes. So you and I are both pretty stocky guys. We've, for most of our lives, we've had thick legs.
I used to be, but I'm working on like the dad bod.
Dad bod?
Coming in pretty solid.
Okay. I know what you're saying. You're still pretty much like a normal person.
And I've got the calves.
The calves.
You either got them or you don't.
You got them or you don't.
Chicks love calves.
Yeah. Fucking guys getting calf implants. Get out of my face. So, what I think about suits with no socks, it has to be a very slim-fitting suit.
Ooh.
So there can't be any bagginess in the legs. So they're going to ride up a little bit higher. And it also has to be
I don't care about anything you're saying. I just want a yes or a no.
Well, it's very situational. So if it's a warm setting and you have very nice shoes on, then you can do it.
Like a loafer?
You can pull it off. Yeah, but it has to be like a classy loafer.
Okay.
Can't be like a shitty boat shoe that you've been wearing for 10 years.
Because I've been debating it for like a week now.
I think I'm totally, I approve, but also you will ruin your shoes because you have to wear the right socks as well.
Yeah, I got little socks. I got them on my feet right now. Check them out.
Little baby socks? All right, you do. How do they not fall off your heels, though?
So, everyone out there listening, Sperry brand little baby socks. They've got little grippies in the heel.
Oh.
So they grip onto your heel and they don't fall off. And then you can wear like your Sperry's loafers without getting super sweaty and gross in your shoe.
And destroying your shoes. Yeah. No. All right. Yeah. No, I approve then. As long as you can't see them. If you're wearing the socks, if you're wearing like some normal ankle socks with your Sperry's or whatever shoe you're wearing, whatever loafer you're wearing, and you can see the sock, go fuck off. I hate you. But if you're wearing socks like you're wearing right now, I totally approve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question, and I saw this on Instagram.
Yes.
It was a post that had like a pill bottle with a bunch of like non-labeled pills, of course, and said, "Don't fuck around with dick pills.
Okay.
They will break your dick."
I can see
you
that.
are the farmer rep, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah.
What's your expert opinion?
Yeah, I totally. Well, I've never sold any sort of like vasodilator or accidental sildenafil, Viagra pill, but I definitely can see how that would kind of break your dick, and not break your dick, but it's definitely going to create some issues. A lot of people that have actual ED problems, it's very mental. So when they get into, taking dick pills, it'll fuck them up. You can also get dick pills. Listen, you can get dick pills at like a gas station.
Oh, yeah, gas station dick pills, dude.
Yeah.
All day.
I think we talked about it last episode. It's just nitric oxide, vasodilators, fucking opens up your blood flow. But at the same time, certain pills like this actually, I think it can create issues. There's definitely side effects. There's definitely adverse events, but
there's side effects to everything.
Not everything.
Dude, if you're like 85,
yeah,
and you're just trying to get that stick,
yeah,
why not?
If you're trying
to lose?
If you're 85 and trying to get that fucking rod going,
yeah,
I say we go back to last episode and get that conch shell, bud.
Ooh.
Yeah, get the pistol going.
The pistol.
The pistol.
Natural.
Yeah.
Spunk.
There's definitely some things that can. And also, spice up your sex life. If you're still having sex at 85, good for you.
Oh, 100%.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's probably not safe to take like Viagra or whatever generics out right now, but there's definitely ways to get your dick a little bit hard.
Dude,
what?
You've heard this before. STDs are rampant in retirement homes.
Oh, I have heard that. Good
so they're just
Lord.
Going to town.
That's interesting. I can't imagine that they're like serious STDs, but probably the ones you pass around pretty quick, like chlamydia. Is gonorrhea bad? I really don't know. I haven't had it.
No, I've never had it. I've never had that.
Have you had, what have you had, Greg?
Nothing.
Just tell me, what have you had?
Nothing. Anyways.
I just scared
my thought is STDs are like relatively new, like 80s. So
yeah. I mean, most of them are.
In a retirement home
syphilis,
kind of
not so
skipped
much.
that STD generation. So my thought process right now is going to someone much younger than the people in the retirement homes had to give the STD to the retirees.
I agree, man. That is actually a very good thought. And that there are people that want to either have sexual relations with the younger age group or the older. But to your point, yeah, it's definitely somebody that's like 25 who's been fucking a bunch of people and is like, hey, I want to go bang an elderly woman or man, and then spreads it out. And then you go into what?
As long as it's consensual.
Yeah, all of this is consensual in
Both
this
ways.
hypothetical situation. But yeah, somebody goes into an old folks' home, does the deed, spreads it out. They're definitely, I mean, if you're 69 to 79, I mean, you're still pretty coherent. You're doing the sex.
I mean, why not?
I'm going to do it as long as I can.
I
know. What else? What else, bud?
Those were the only questions that I have for you.
Those are the only ones?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
I have one, and then I'm going to go take a little pee break. So I'll ask you this question, and then we'll come back. But what is the number one fear that people have in America?
Oh.
And I can clarify this question if you ask.
Okay.
I'll clarify beforehand. It's not an animal, but it has to do with public situations.
Public speaking.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom.
What?
Well done. Good guess. Kind of set you up there. But I was down in Las Vegas for a work event from this past Monday to Wednesday.
Look at you.
Yep, Vegas.
Mr. Important.
It was 105. We were in a fucking casino for 3 days, and it was terrible.
I went on a work trip to Vegas myself, and I didn't sleep for 3 days.
I slept, but I can see how it's very easy not to do that.
Yes.
All right, so... Anyways.
So when I was there...
Okay, go.
I looked around. There's mountains, which a lot of people don't know. There's mountains in Vegas, and I like something hilly, something mountainy. Yeah. Everyone's partying. Everyone's having a great time.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry to jump in real quick.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was only telling a story. Cool.
It is in the desert, but it's the Red Rock Mountains. Red Rocks. That's all I wanted to say.
I don't know what those are.
Those are the mountains that you can see from Las Vegas.
But anyway, so I'm going, this might not be a terrible place to live. So I start asking the locals. I'm asking like the bartenders. I'm asking the bellhops, like the people at the casino desk. Hey, what's it like to live here?
The real intelligent folk.
And I asked probably 3-4 people. And all 3 and 4 of them go, well, it's really fun. You just have to deal with the people and not get a drug addiction. All 4 people had the same answer.
All right, so you have to deal with crazy people and not get addicted to cocaine because you're going to stay up all night and play blackjack.
I'm going meth.
There's definitely
out in the desert, dude.
Definitely a lot of meth.
100%.
Got to imagine. Yeah.
So that's Vegas, people. Woo!
That is Vegas. I don't know where I was going with my story. I'll try to remember where I was going. This isn't where I was going initially, but
anyways, I didn't move there.
Greg still lives in New York. But when I was down in Vegas for work, it was primarily meetings all day. That boring shit. You know how it goes, Greg. But one night we actually got to go out to a dinner. But what they did was they shut down, and I'm going to bring it up on screen so Greg can see it. But yeah, it was so ridiculous. I mean, it was this club on the top of a building. It was on top of the Flamingo, I think.
Infinity pools.
There were some pools. They weren't infinity pools, but there were some pools. But it was like this rooftop club. You had to go up the elevator, do the whole thing. And when we got up there, when we were walking down the hallway to get into this club, I mean, it's massive. It could hold a couple thousand people. I think like for my work event, there were like 700 or 800 people, and we didn't even fill it up at all. But when you're walking down the thing, this is the club that Pauly D from like Jersey Shore always plays at. And then it was like Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg.
I've been watching Pauly Shore on A Double Shot at Love.
Pauly Shore?
Pauly D.
Pauly Shore.
Jersey Shore, Pauly Shore, Pauly D.
Pauly Shore is like the old comedian guy from...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like his spot that he plays all the time. So it's this rooftop place. It's half inside, half outside. But the company set it up so you can literally sit inside and do karaoke or go outside and gamble or whatever you want to do. Nobody got in the pool. It wasn't that crazy. But It was just such a weird feeling being in a club like this. It almost reminds me of Vinyl in Rochester, New York.
Oh.
Look it up. But every single piece of furniture you could sit on was full-blown leather. But when you sit on that
style,
when you sit on that stuff fully sober, and then you look around and nobody's like drunk yet, and there's like mild white people karaoke going on. Yeah, it was just like, oh, this is strange, huh?
So wait, you couldn't drink, or could you drink at the work event?
No, we were drinking. We were drinking, but like right when you get there, you don't. You know, you don't have buzz going.
If you're going to a club, you gotta have a little buzz going.
But also,
or else
like,
it's weird.
But it wasn't bumping like a club. There were no lights or anything. It was just we reserved the space, and then there was like you could get food, all that stuff.
Okay. But so what are you gonna show me?
Oh, I was just gonna show you the club. So I'm gonna walk everybody through it. I'm showing Greg because you can't see it right now. But you can. It's one of the best views of Vegas you can get. Like, it's one of the best views of the Strip. It was amazing because you can. It's almost right in the middle, but on the left you can see the Bellagio where the giant water fountains are spurting up. It's beautiful. And then to the right you can see like the Mirage and whatever else is over there. It was just cool. It was cool to see that because it's very central to what's going on, and I thought it was awesome. I kind of appreciated it, even though, you know, we were just reserving this club to go sit out there. But also it was hot as fuck. It was 105 at like 5 p.m. Yeah, you go outside, dry heat, but you start sweating after a couple minutes.
Yeah, the thing I love about Vegas is they just do everything big. Like, even to like the tile in the shower of the hotel room is just absolutely too much. Kind of gaudy, way too much, crazier than anything you've ever seen, but it's awesome.
Absurd. The room I stayed in, just to add one more point, and then we'll kind of move on past the Vegas touch point here. But yeah, the room I stayed in was a king bedroom. The bathroom had a like stand-in steam room shower, a full-blown jet bath, then a separate like bathroom to like pee in. And then it had, you walk down the stairs and then you go into like another living room.
And that's like the most basic
room.
Yeah,
that was the most basic room. It was so ridiculous. I was like, this is absurd. I didn't even, I wanted to put my socks on in the other room and like iron in the other room. Just say,
play whatever you got going. And the other thing I have to say, if you've never been to Vegas, you step off the plane and in the airport are slot machines.
Oh, people
just absolutely out of this world.
Oh yeah, and people, what do they smoke, Greg? Everywhere? Cigarettes.
Oh,
so many cigarettes. Oh my God, it's absurd.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like, you walk into a casino and people are smoking cigarettes in the casino. It was the same way in the Bahamas. Like, you can still smoke indoors.
And how many?
We're from New York, and it was banned years ago. Like, smoking indoors is not a thing, but once you start traveling,
there's certain states where you can still do that. But yeah, it's weird. You walk into a casino, you walk into a bar, and then people are still smoking cigarettes right in your face. I mean, people are walking through the casino with children, and there's hundreds of people smoking cigarettes right next to them. It's unreal. Lawless, yeah.
You gotta love that lawless life, son.
Nevada might be the most lawless state in America, but they're kind of like, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, prostitution is still legal there.
In certain areas, I don't know if it's
counties.
Yeah, I don't know if it's.
That's still absurd.
Is it legal though, or is it
100%?
That's interesting. Or is it? I feel like it's not legal, but
I don't think you can just like stroll up to someone on the street. But there are certain establishments where it is still okay.
Yeah, I know there's like kind of like replications of a certain type of brothel. Yeah. So I don't know if you could like call somebody to your room for the reason of trying to have sex.
Could.
I mean, you definitely can do that. It's possible, but I don't know if you can do it for that reason or if it's more or less like, I'm an escort, blah, blah, blah. Actually, quick story. If you look up the Nevada legislation on brothels / prostitutes, but one of our good friends, Sam, well, you know Sam. He lives in Vegas. He lives in Red Rock, actually. But he was saying he's done a couple bachelor parties, and lucky for him, friends want to come to him living there to do the bachelor party. But when they ordered women of the night, they just wanted to have like some entertainment, more or less like entertainment women, like, hey, come dance, do that, We don't want to have anything more than that. Thank God I have respectful friends for the most part. But most of these women, once they get to the door, they're like, I'll charge you $100 to come in.
Yikes.
And that's all they'll tell you. Mm-hmm. And then once they're in, I'll charge you $100 for this. I'll charge you $100 for that. And you think they're just like strippers. You just want them to like dance a little bit and be entertaining.
Nope.
Most of them, if you're not paying attention or you're not looking, I mean, they are absolutely prostitutes. They're looking to make money.
100%.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I've got the laws here. So prostitution is also illegal in Nevada's capital, Carson City, an independent city. The rest of Nevada's counties are permitted by state law to license brothels, but currently only 7 counties have actual brothels. As of December 2018, there are 21 brothels in Nevada.
All right. So which one do you want to go to, Greg?
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm out.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it's a Wild West out there.
let me peek. I had a couple notes from the week. I wanted to see.
Yeah, I've got 2 more things to touch on.
Go ahead.
Since you can't think of anything, I can. So Oliver, yesterday, pooped out a full pack of gum.
Chewed?
I look at his poop.
Wait, was it
just
chewed?
A giant white blob mixed in with his poop, and it is clearly gum. And then there's little parts of foil. So he must have got his teeth on like a full pack of gum.
So when it came out, though, did it look like it was chewed or just?
Oh yeah, it was chewed.
Or like swallowed in like whole, and then it kind of got digested a little bit.
Yeah, it got like digested.
A little bit, a couple chew marks, but mostly just pack
He
gum.
is a trash compactor.
Greg
If
sent
that dog can eat a full pack of gum and be okay, I'm not nervous about him eating anything.
But side note here: don't feed your dogs
gum
anything.
Is supposed to be bad for dogs.
It's supposed to be very bad. Yeah, don't do that.
I didn't smell it. I probably should have. I assumed it was mint because it was white. Like it wasn't. If it was yellow, I think juicy fruit.
You smelled it.
It was like if it was like pink, I think like Bubblicious. But
you smelled it for sure.
You remember Big League Chew, son?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As a child, getting that pack of Big League Chew, you were like the cool kid on the block. I don't care how nerdy you were. You were the big leaguer.
Yeah, I was packing a whole pound of Big League Chew into your mouth, and then it lost flavor after 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, worst gum out there. But you were the man.
Yeah.
Because they had that jacked baseball player on the cover.
Yeah.
He was huge.
Yeah, so
just
you could be a little guy and just be like, "Hey, I'm chewing the big league stuff right now."
The man. Speaking of roids,
yep.
I watched A Star Is Born, and the one scene I want to bring up is when they're talking about his voice, and they're worried about his voice getting higher in pitch.
Wait, hang on. A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, and Bradley Cooper is hard of hearing.
Yes. But anyways, they're like backstage or they're somewhere and they're going, worried about my voice getting higher. Because as a country singer, you want like a real low voice.
Yeah.
And they're like,
it's very specific.
His manager goes, no, it sounds fine. I don't think it's getting higher at all. And Bradley Cooper goes, well, might as well just to be safe. And they stick him in the butt with a needle or like a syringe full of like a mystery substance, and it's 100% testosterone. It's 100% steroids.
I could see that
because it lowers your voice.
Some sort of hormonal.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. That was just like the craziest thing to me. That like country singers, like they implied it to lower their voice and keep it low, are just taking steroids.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, any other professional anything, whether it's an athlete or a singer or somebody who is at the top of their game in any profession is going to go to the extreme. You know,
right.
I mean, most people that watch professional sports don't think that steroids are rampant, but they are. I mean, every single person is figuring out not every single person, but a lot of people are just figuring out how to avoid the testing. So I can see that absolutely, especially for him because he's losing his hearing in that movie. I mean, he was born hard of hearing, right. I think. And
if he loses his voice, like he's got nothing left.
Yeah, and I think he has like a cochlear implant. I can't remember. Or just hearing aids.
No, I don't know.
I can't remember in the movie, but either way, those high pitches, he's probably losing his hearing to those too. So to be on pitch, he needs to amp it up a bit. But any sort of improvement is exactly what they're trying to do. So it does, yeah. But also that movie, terribly sad at the end.
Oh,
I mean,
I shed a tear or two.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so sad. That song is super catchy though.
I don't know which one. Don't worry about it though.
Okay.
So,
all right.
One last thing to say.
Okay. Jeez, man.
I know, dude.
It's
I had
an
a crazy
list.
week.
Great week.
Anyways, so I'm working at the pool at the hotel, and there's this bellhop. He's usually like a really friendly guy. Like he's always got this creepy, like overly friendly look on his face kind of thing. You know the type, right? Almost weirds you out. Like, what are you looking at?
Yeah. And
Like, this is New York. Like, just say hi, be friendly, and then we'll be on our way. Like, don't look me in the eye and say like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, buddy?" Like, don't say that.
Or don't say anything. We
Right.
live in New York. Just
Right. Like, we work together. We're coworkers. We're not friends.
exactly.
Fuck off. But anyways, I walk by this guy, and I'm in the lobby, and he's a bellhop. So he's standing there. He sees this couple leave, and he goes, "Hey, what a nice day, eh?"
Question mark?
A.
Yeah, question
Like
mark
he's
after
Canadian.
that. Yeah. A? Nice day.
I've
A?
seen this guy like 20 times. Not a single A. And all of a sudden, on this day, he decides to throw a Canadian A. "Oh, how's it going, eh?" On the end of his sentence.
Did it
And
throw
I'm just
you
like,
off?
100%. Threw me
Yeah.
off. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So I walk by him. Sure enough, what does he do? He goes, "Oh, how's it going, eh?" I just looked him in the eye and just walked right by him. I was like, I don't have time for you to pretend to be Canadian. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but you need to knock it off. Like, this is New York. I don't know if you took a trip to Toronto or something, but you got to stop talking to me like that. And more importantly, you got to stop talking to guests like that. Like, you're freaking everyone out, dude.
Yeah, nothing wrong with having like the Canadian accent.
I love Canadians, by the way.
I know. We're in upstate New York. We're basically Canadian. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Just
Nicest people in the world.
out of
Women
nowhere,
are beautiful.
though, yeah.
They all snowboard. They're cool as fuck. They all smoke weed.
But you could freak somebody out with that. I get it. How's it going, eh?
Just looks me straight in the eye.
Yeah. It's more
After
or less
saying hello.
It's more.
How are you?
Yeah, it's more or less the eye
20
contact.
times.
Yeah,
Looks at me dead in the eye and goes, "How's it going, eh?"
yeah. It's almost like he's trying to read your mind to see what's going
I
on.
don't know. That just, it kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, I understand, man. Super weird.
Is it story time?
Yeah. Did I finish my story? I can't remember about doing the public speaking or no.
No.
All right, let me just finish it because that's the only story I had, but I felt good after it. So, public speaking.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, it's the last one, and then
Can
we'll
you
do
wrap
stories.
it up?
Yeah. So, I was down in Vegas. We had this gigantic like room full of people for a presentation, like 700-800 people. I mean, it's a lot of people.
That's impressive.
It's a lot of people. And
Why'd they choose you to talk?
Yes. So we were like, it was during this presentation, my boss, my manager goes, "Hey, if they were to call on you, would you be able to just like read the slide that's up there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to read." Like I can read. And then out of nowhere, like 20 minutes later, this woman who's like part of the entertainment crew comes up to me and she goes, "Hey, here you go. Can you read this?" And I'm just like, "Sure."
Well, fuck me.
Yeah. And they threw the slide up on this. There's 3 different.
Did you have any drinks in you?
0.
Oh, fuck
It was
that.
like
I'm out.
It was like 10 a.m., man. But literally handed me a microphone. There's 3 20-foot screens up front with my face on it, and I have to say like who I am, where I work, the area that I work in, and then I have to read this like paragraph up on the screen. And
Oh, that's brutal, dude.
most people, even though like usually I'm relatively confident reading in public, I'm standing there in front of all of my peers, all my coworkers,
Yeah.
and I read it, and there was a couple words that were acronyms that I did not know, so I like read them out loud. Like one was PAL, P-A-L. I'm like, PAL? And read it out loud, and then just kept going. But
Did you have notes in your hand? Or no?
No, it was
you were reading off the prompter, like the screen.
fully.
So you're
yeah.
literally looking like that idiot.
Had never seen it before in my life.
That idiot with your back to the crowd reading off the screen.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's brutal.
It was terrifying, but moral of the story is I felt great about it. I didn't stumble over my words. I literally blacked out a little bit because I thought that I fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's normal.
Dude, you know my biggest fear, right?
Public speaking.
No, it's not public speaking.
Oh, no, it's public reading.
Public reading.
Yeah. So
I can give a presentation that I've created with no notes in front of doesn't matter how many people.
and
But
it's fine,
as soon as I'm reading something,
yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is. I am terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And even doing this, reading our stories, I'm super nervous.
Yeah, but that's why we do it, man. I feel
to
like
get over my fears.
I feel like this is an
100%.
exercise to better
yeah,
ourselves
dude.
for sure.
Yeah.
But all I wanted to say was maybe this is like a compliment to myself. I was saying I did not fuck up, so I was pumped about it. But yeah, let's get into the stories. We actually have to go to. Hey, wait! We need to touch on this. It's Gay Pride Month.
Woo!
Yeah, hell yeah. So
and one of our friends' uncles
yep.
just got married.
Yeah.
Two dudes.
Congratulations, the Gunkles.
Just went down to the city whatever. City Hall?
I don't know. They could have had somebody who is
And got hitched.
Yeah. But yeah, congrats to them. We have to go meet
Congrats.
them out. But also, how many gay people do we know? I used to live with a few gay people.
So
Chris.
that's 2.
Yep.
And they're lovers. So that's 4. You know Jason and Tim,
Yep.
my coworkers.
Yep.
I know a lot. Oh, my sister
Yep.
and her significant other.
Okay.
And then I actually made an attempt to work with the LGBTQ plus community as a financial advisor. So they're a group that's completely underserviced. They get no attention at all. So I made a really strong effort to work with them. Didn't go well, but that's a story for another day. And I met a ton of people in the community, and they're all wonderful people. They all have everyone's best interest in mind. But yeah, so why did you ask that question?
Continuous process. No, I was just saying we need to wrap this up because we need to go
Meet them for a celebratory drink.
They like to have beers. We like to have beers. It's gonna work out.
And the gays know how to party.
They do for sure.
100%.
Also, let me correct you real quick. Chris and shit, I can't.
Oh, you're on the spot.
I can't remember my last.
Hope she doesn't listen to
I
this.
know I can't remember her name, but they were not gay together because one was a man, one was a woman. That's all I wanted to clarify. But all right, you want to start the stories?
Yeah, I'll start us off here.
Bang her out, buddy.
All right, Patty the Wanderer. All right. After
the Wanderer.
the death of his young mistress, Patty became famous in history as the dog who roamed freely who roamed freely and traveled far. Some believe searching for the child he loved. Ooh, this is dramatic. The Airedale Terrier?
Say it again.
Airedale? Airedale. Airedale Terrier? I've never heard of that. It kind of looks like a mutt, but whatever. Was given as a gift to a young girl named Elsie, daughter of seaman. Hey, we got another seaman in the story.
Wait, what? Does it give you a time frame right now before you get into the mix?
1928.
Again, very old, but
Must have been a popular name back then, seaman.
yeah. Seaman.
All right, so Airedale Terrier was given as a gift to young girl Elsie, daughter of seaman. Elsie, her mother, and the dog, believed to have been named Dash, would often go to the wharves of Wellington.
It's a place. I don't know. The
Often
wharves
go
of
to
Wellington.
the wharves.
Wharves?
Look this up for me, quick. WHAR. Are you doing it?
WHAR.
VES.
Wharves of Wellington.
I mean, you could have just done the wharves.
The wharves.
Just do wharves. I want to see the definition
actual-
of wharves.
I feel like it's a pronoun though. Wharves, plural for wharf.
All right, do Wharves of Wellington.
It's definitely
I'm just
a
trying to set
location.
the stage.
No,
for
yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
And I have
Go ahead.
no idea what a Wharves
Continue
is.
on. Keep reading.
You look for it, and I will keep reading.
Go
So sorry, Elsie, her mother, and the dog believed to have been named Dash would often go to the Wharves of Wellington, New Zealand, to greet her father's ship.
So it sounds like a port. Then.
Yeah, I'm thinking docks. So they'd often go to the docks in New Zealand to greet the father's ship. In 1928, 3-year-old Elsie died of pneumonia and his grief. And despite attempts to make him a home dog, Dash took to roaming the wharves. So we'll skip my terrible reading. And apparently, this dog used to like to roam.
You want to restart? What are you doing?
Anyways, his owner, this young child, died, and they attempted to keep the dog at home, but he would continue to roam away and just wander.
Okay.
Remember, it's 1928, people. Everyone just let their dogs do whatever. Wander around.
Basically all strays.
They'd come home sometimes. They wouldn't. It didn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the dog became well known in the community and soon began hopping in the trams, getting into taxis, and even boarding ships to go on journeys with the friends he made. So this dog's badass.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Some say the dog, who soon became known as Patty the Wanderer, went as far as San Francisco. However, wherever he went, he always found his way back to Wellington. It was reported that Patty had traveled in every form of convenience, public and private, except in an aeroplane and a submarine. So, a train.
Yeah,
A train and like a car back then, 1928.
Or ship or canoe.
Yeah.
Bicycle.
All right. Whatever.
Backpack while you're running.
I mean, cool. So he's
Haka,
kind of a
as
badass.
you're doing. Okay.
So in 1935, he was taken on a plane ride, becoming the first dog in the country to fly.
What year was that? Sorry, say that again.
1935.
Okay.
So 1928 to 1935. Math. Go.
Yeah. 8 years.
7.
25. Wait, 28 to 35? 7 or 8 years,
It's
depending
7.
on. Well,
Depending on the months.
If
All
he
right,
was
you're
born
right.
on
You're
the
right.
first.
You're right.
We're both right.
The community would chip in to buy Patty a collar and register him in 1935 when the Wellington Harbor Board took responsibility of him. Patty was even given the title of Assistant Night Watchman in charge of pirates, rodents, and smugglers. That's badass, dude.
Just kind of the watchman dog sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Did I hear you right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, just
So my thought is
regulating.
he hung out at the docks and he traveled everywhere because everyone kind of knew this dog and they were like, this dog's badass. He's always here.
Yeah.
He's going to watch the docks for pirates, for rodents, and smugglers.
He's probably eating rodents, fucking them up.
Oh, dude.
Eating them.
Raw feeding, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Let's get Scott back on.
Yeah. So in 1939, Patty had fallen ill and was sent to a kennel to recuperate, which he did not like. One day when a taxi driver came to visit him, Jesus, that's awesome, the free-spirited and determined dog jumped in the cab and refused to get out. The driver returned Patty to the docks and made him a bed in one of the sheds. Shortly after, on July 17th, he passed away.
Oh, just out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Doesn't give a reason?
I mean, dude, he's 8 years old. He's just been living on the streets.
Yeah. Nutrition isn't great. Probably
Right.
got abused to some degree on his travels, but still owned it.
Right. I mean, he went everywhere, apparently. Check up. Where is Wellington?
You said New Zealand at some point. I looked it up. It looks like a port in New Zealand. 1869. I'm looking it up, and I can see it.
Where are the wharves of Wellington? Because he traveled to California from there. So I want to see if that's like...
it's definitely New Zealand then, because that's easier to travel to than, I mean, really anywhere else. Yeah, New Zealand.
So this dog, with no owner, just hanging out on the docks, traveled from New Zealand all the way to California.
Yeah. I don't know how long that would take back then. Probably a month, 2 months. I don't know. I mean, the Pacific out there is absurd. I mean, you don't know what's going on.
Back in 1939?
Yeah.
Like, navigational tools must have been terrible.
Oh,
they didn't have GPS. They didn't have any of that.
You're looking at the stars. You're blindly going from New Zealand to the west coast of America. I mean, it's absurd.
I'm pretty sure they had maps, but...
In the early 1800s, 1900s? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they had basic... Oh, in 1939, they had maps. Yeah.
Right. But I can't go even down the street without a GPS.
I know. Yeah, we did.
I get lost.
Nowadays, folks, when's the last time you actually used a map to navigate anywhere? Even though maps are more advanced than ever before, when's the last time you actually used one?
Was 19 in high school.
So almost 10 years ago.
MapQuest.
Yep.
So it's like cheater map.
Yeah.
They give you a map and directions.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Toronto with my friend Sean Hilliker. Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Died. Heroin overdose. That shit's terrible. Love you, bud. But we went to Toronto
R.I.P.,
to get
yeah.
fake IDs because I was going to college and I wanted a fake ID.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yonge Street in Toronto.
I
Probably shouldn't say that, kids, but that's where to get them.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that story. I've heard it before. I know it's a tough sitch. I got my first fake ID on Yonge Street in Toronto.
That's awesome.
But nobody gets
Now
them.
you can just order them online, I guess.
Nobody gets them from there anymore. My youngest brother's 19. They order them from China.
Yeah.
And they come back. They had like 10 of their friends order them. They come back in like a shoebox in an old pair of shoes, and they scan somehow. Like actually
no,
scan.
my
It's
the
absurd.
one from Yonge Street in Toronto scanned too.
For like a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
It was just wild, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, we used
yes.
MapQuest. I just printed their trips. Did not print the return trips, and just like read the map backwards, and we made it home.
Just flip it
Like,
upside down.
Can you imagine a day?
Yeah.
No GPS, just did it.
It's way too difficult. You have to actually pay attention when you're driving. I was gonna say the last time I did it was coming back from Virginia Beach with my ex-girlfriend, and we live in New York, so we got 90% of the way. We made it into Philadelphia. I don't know what that highway is, but my phone died, her phone died. We had like the basic maps like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got off on an exit to try to get gas. We were in like the hood of East Philly.
Nice.
I mean, we were under bridges. It was terrifying.
What year was this? So my story's from 2008 to give everyone perspective.
Mine's like 2010. So
Same, yeah.
yeah, I mean, basic understanding of how
Yeah.
anything works. But yeah, it was terrifying. And knowing that you have to rely on yourself is tough. Is your story over?
No.
I'm sorry. All right.
No.
Finish it off.
So anyways, to recap, Patty was in the cab. The driver returned Patty to the docks and made him a bed in one of the sheds. Shortly after, Patty died. All right. So Patty's body was placed in a coffin with words, "Patty the Wanderer at rest," and was transported to the crematorium in one of the 12 black taxis that would form his procession. A traffic officer led the way, bringing downtown Wellington traffic to a standstill. "I'd give a month's pay to have Patty back," said one of the mourners. So they gave him a full-blown funeral service. Like, they stopped the city traffic to basically bring him to where they were going. Anyways,
That's wild.
yeah. In 1945, a memorial to Patty was unveiled on the Queen's Wharf in Wellington. The memorial, which consists of brass plaques mounted above a drinking fountain with 2 drinking bowls from dogs at ground level, was paid for by Patty's many friends. Also, a life-size statue of Patty stands in the Museum of Wellington City and Sea, a favorite among children and adults. So,
Wow.
that was a badass dog.
Is that the end?
Yeah, it's Sam.
Wow. That was great, though.
Patty.
That was one of the better stories we've had, man. That was a good one. Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't think I could make it from New Zealand to California
No way.
on my own. Like, I would need like Travelocity to get me there.
Yeah.
And this dog made it on his own with no friends or owners.
No way. I mean, he was scrapping it up at the docks at the port, and then just hopping on and going to California. Absurd. Absolutely absurd.
He was just kind of like that buddy dog. You know what I mean? Like, people are lonely. Dudes are going on ships without their wives, without a lot of attention. And here's this dog.
What are you getting
It's
at,
kind of like
Greg?
the war dogs.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going there, you sick freak.
I was gonna make
it's kind of like war dogs.
for
People
sure. No,
find dogs over in Afghanistan, and they just make them their dog, and they do like everything they can to bring them back, because they give the soldiers so much like compassion and comfort that they do whatever they can to bring them back and keep them with the soldiers. It's pretty awesome.
for sure, that companionship. And actually, I don't know if this necessarily gets into the war dogs. My story is about 9/11 dog heroes. Have we done these yet?
No, we used to do a shout out to 9/11 war dogs. I think you might have the same printout, but I don't know. Check it out. Let's read it and see.
If so, I'll get into it and we'll find it out. So, Greg. All right, so 9/11 dog heroes. So, following the attacks on September 11, 2001, thousands of courageous heroes were there to help at the World Trade Center. It was a terrible day. What were you in 6th grade? I was in 7th grade, something like that.
Yeah, I was in middle school. I remember I was at lunch, and we were in between going to class, and before we could even get to class, we were in this big like auditorium in our middle school. No, elementary.
It was middle school. It was definitely middle school. Yeah.
Middle school, and they like stopped us, put the TV on, and we literally watched like the whole thing. We eventually made it back to class. They sent us home. It's a fucked up day.
Yeah, I didn't really even realize what was going on at the time. Like, I saw it, but I didn't understand the gravity of the situation. It was very strange. Like, we were sitting in a room, and I was watching it, and I didn't really get it.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I was at an age where I just didn't understand how bad something like that is.
Yeah, So they were helping at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, also in Pennsylvania. Hundreds of these heroes were dogs, and that makes sense. The following are just a few of the many dogs who put their lives at risk to help people during the tragic time in U.S. history. So the first dog, and I have about 17 pages that got split up weird.
We'll do like 5 or 6, but these are the dogs that I gave a shout out to earlier, but read them, and then it's still going to be awesome.
We'll see.
Go.
Yeah, I mean, we can do 2 stories on these guys.
Just read.
All right, I'll read. Janelle Guzman McMillan, Janelle with a G, very strange, was working on the 64th floor of the World Trade Center's North Tower the day that the plane hit those buildings. So 64th floor is terrifying because there's no more than probably 30 floors in Rochester.
I mean, picture this. So there's panic, chaos, and you're on the 64th floor. You have 64 floors to go down with no elevator to get out.
It's terrifying.
In a building that has thousands of people.
Oh, my God. Yeah, terrifying. You get like a claustrophobic feeling, I feel. But her and about 15 employees from her team of Port Authority workers tried to evacuate the building after American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into it. The building began to collapse as Janelle was making her way down the stairs. Also terrifying. She made it to the 13th floor, so that's closer to the bottom than I would have imagined, before being pinned under a beam that was cement and steel. Hope she's okay. She laid in the darkness under the rubble for 27 hours before she was rescued. 27 hours, Jesus. Only one of her coworkers survived. Janelle was the last person to be found alive.
Oh,
Jesus. How many hours
thank
was
the
it?
Lord.
27 hours? So you're just sitting there
The whole time. And you are literally bleeding out, like,
and you don't know what's
probably
going
in
on.
complete darkness, thinking this is it. And I never got to say goodbye to any of my friends, family. Like, ugh.
And yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm getting emotional. Tracker, a German Shepherd from Canada, was the one who traced Janelle's scent, leading rescuers to her. It's so awesome that the dogs could have this kind of sense. Quote, another quote, to find people buried under the rubble. That was one
brutal.
full quote.
Right?
Janelle, with a G, told Animal Planet for their documentary Hero Dogs of 9/11. After 2 days of hard work, Tracker collapsed from smoke inhalation, chemical exposure, burns, and exhaustion.
So the dog, wait, Tracker, he collapsed, you said?
Yeah, so after he was trying to save Janelle being trapped under the beam, went up, did his thing, tried to save her. I'm sure he saved a bunch of other people, but just sucking in the smoke and whatever other chemicals were going on. Yeah, he was having a hard time.
It's brutal.
He was treated and released to return home with James Symington, his handler and Canadian police officer. Tracker passed away in 2009. That's the end of the story. This is like a story of 4 or 5 stories, but thank you, Tracker, for your service.
Yep. R.I.P., baby.
All right, so the next picture says Riley and Bailey. I don't know if this story's about them. This thing printed out kind of funky. Eileen Romer was an FBI agent and Navy reservist. So you can be an FBI agent and a Navy in the Navy Reserve?
Yes, 2 separate things, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. But if you're in the FBI, it's kind of secretive, right?
I don't know how that works, Scott.
So sorry, I have to say this. One of the guys I work with, he lives in Rochester. His not his son, his nephew grew up where I grew up. He was my younger brother's age.
Okay, well, no one can make that connection, but we'll get to the point.
Okay, guy I work with, his nephew lived where I lived. But this kid went to Harvard. He was the number 1 in his class, and he comes home to Skinny Atlas every once in a while. But he tells us, like, we know that he's in the CIA or the FBI or something, but it's very strange because you know so little about him. But yeah, that's why I was asking.
I mean, this isn't like the Soviet communist era anymore. Like, the FBI isn't that secretive anymore.
Okay.
Actually,
You're right.
They recruited me on LinkedIn to be like some sort of like financial accountant. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, not feeling it. Not sure. Okay. So she had her dog, Riley, trained to be a search and recovery dog. He proved to be great at his job and enjoyed doing the work. Bailey came to Eileen through an animal control officer who had found him chained to a post in the breeder's kennel. That's sad. He was emaciated, had rotting teeth, and was covered in fleas and ticks. So he was, he was on the edge.
You got to be careful when choosing a breeder, people.
Yep. Eileen's plan was to get Bailey back to health and get him to his family and a few people that she knew. The plan fell through, so Eileen kept him. She soon discovered that he had the drive and abilities to be a search and recovery dog, so she decided to have him trained. So that's cool.
That's awesome. That's like a true hero story.
Yeah.
Going from like tied up, abused in a kennel to
becoming
search and rescue dog.
Absolutely. On that fateful day in September, Eileen was working at the Pentagon. She got off work at 7:30. I don't know if it's a.m. or p.m. In the morning, in the morning, / in the morning. And about 2 hours later, American Airlines Flight 77 crashed in the Pentagon. Eileen, Riley, and Bailey went to the Pentagon searching for human remains. This was Bailey's first search and recovery mission. The dogs worked 12-hour shifts searching through the debris for 12 long days. Jesus. So even 12 days is absurd.
What a hell of a first mission.
I know.
By the way.
But if you're number 1, you got to get out there, man.
It's crazy, dude.
Despite Bailey's abused past by the humans, he and Riley helped bring closure to the many families of 9/11 victims. So
he's finding a lot of cadavers.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of
still,
dead
at the same
bodies.
time, it's important to do that.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Riley of the 2 passed away in 2005, and Bailey then in 2010. They're both, just so you guys know, they're both golden retrievers.
You know what's like absolutely like crazy to me is, so you get this dog, and you start training him as a rescue dog. And my thought is, like, it sounds like from these stories, these are just everyday average people getting a dog and saying, hey, like, I'm going to train this dog to be a rescue dog. And then something like 9/11 happens and you act. You say, hey, this is like what we've trained for. This is what we're going to do. And you're driving there. You're hearing the stories. You're hearing the news on how bad this is. You full blown know. You're like going into this knowing that your dog might die. And then getting there, seeing how bad it is, and still having your dog, like your best friend, go into these dangerous situations where fire is burning, where things are collapsing, where there's debris in the air that's not even breathable. And there's no dust mask for a dog.
No way.
Right?
Yep.
And like you let your dog do what it was trained for, like all its life, full blown knowing that this dog that you love might die. And it's just absolutely like, it's just so heroic that it like touches me. And sorry.
No, man. Yeah. That was one of the deeper comments, quotes that I think we've had on the
it's just
on the podcast. It was,
it's crazy, dude.
I totally agree, man. And it's one of those situations where you have to trust your commitment and relationship with your best friend, your dog, to, hey, we're going to do this. We're going in.
Like, it's time. Like, this is what we need to do. Like, there's people out there that are in worse off situations than we are. Like, we got to help them, no matter the outcome.
And you know that's like one of those situations that you and your dog, you look at each other, and I know that you've seen this before, and I've seen it before. You look in their eyes, and you both know what you're thinking, you know? And in that situation,
100%. Like you're
it's just like, hey, this is the time, man. And they're going to be what they are. So, all right. So I'm done, man.
Yeah.
You're choking me up. Okay. So story numero tres here. Roselli, Roselli, not sure. This heroic dog story involves a guide dog named Roselli belonging to Michael Hingson. Hingson was working on the 78th floor of the World Trade Center's North Tower when the crash happened on the other side of the building, 18 floors above him. The Labrador Retriever calmly guided his blind owner. Oh, he's blind. His blind owner down the 1,463 steps and out of the building. The two of us, in quotes, the two of us had a very interdependent relationship, Hingson recalls. She kept me as calm as I kept her. I just kept encouraging her. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Just as I got out of the building, the South Tower collapsed. Hingson said Roselli remained calm and totally focused while everyone ran in panic and debris fell around them.
Jeez, Lord.
Oh, boy. Well,
that's a scary situation.
That's crazy. He was blind, though. Dog's like, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Time to go.
Yeah, let's go. Down 1,400
How did no people
steps.
help him?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It's just save yourself at that point.
Apparently. I mean, the human race, we're becoming pretty shitty people, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Roselli passed away in 2011, nearly 10 years after the attacks. She was an amazing dog who taught me a lot about patience and unconditional love, says Hingson. Yeah, she saved your life, bro.
Yeah.
And when I remember how she behaved on that morning in 2001, I think the most powerful thing she taught me was that working together is the most powerful thing we can do. That's awesome. So that was a quick hitter. That was a quick hitter there. Roselli, hero.
That's still awesome.
Still awesome. All right, next, a dog named Jake. Looks like a black lab a little bit. Jake, a 10-month-old puppy, was adopted by Mary Flood after living on the streets with a broken leg and dislocated hip. Jeez.
Street dogs.
Street dogs. With much love, the disabled pup went on to become a world-class search and rescue dog, a teacher to train future dogs, and a comforter to people in need. Following the 9/11 attacks, Jake spent 17 days searching for survivors and victims at the World Trade Center. He assisted after many disasters, including Hurricane Katrina as well. Jake later developed cancer, poor pup, and was put to sleep in 2007 at the age of 12. He was a great morale booster whenever he went out, said Flood.
Jake's that OG.
That
He's
OG
like the guy
boy.
who's been to war more than once.
Yeah,
badass.
Yeah, if you're a search and rescue dog and you've done multiple search and rescues, yeah, you're a badass. All right, so that was another quick hitter. Moving on, I'm not really sure how to pronounce this dog's name. Bretagne. I'm just gonna call him Brett. All right.
Okay.
It looks like a very foreign name. All right. Brett's first deployment as a U.S. government certified rescue dog was at the World Trade Center. Are these all World Trade Center stories? It
Yeah.
looks like they're all just okay. At the World Trade Center, and she and her owner Denise Corliss spent 2 weeks working 12-hour shifts at Ground Zero. It was her first mission, but she worked it like a pro, said Corliss. Brett retired from search work at age 9, so that's getting a little bit older. She continued to work in her retirement, helping children with special needs. Oh, she's a lover. A lover too, Greg. On June 6, 2016, the 16-year-old golden retriever was ill and put to sleep. Mm-hmm. She was the last surviving rescue dog who worked at Ground Zero following the 9/11 attacks. Wow, 16. When the dogs weren't searching in the rubble, this is just a continuation here. When the dogs weren't searching in the rubble, they would help human rescuers cope with their emotional trauma, as well as the therapy dogs that were brought in. According to Dr. Cynthia Otto, a veterinarian who cared for heroic dogs at Ground Zero, you'd see firefighters sitting there, unanimated, stone-faced, no emotion, and they'd see a dog and break into a smile. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those dogs brought power and hope. They removed the gloom for just an instant, which is awesome.
That's awesome, yeah.
All right. Now we're moving on to Sirius. Sirius. He actually looks kind of like a bear. If you were going to mix a bear with a German Shepherd, that's what this dog looks like. Sirius was born in 1997. He was not a search and rescue dog, a cadaver dog, or a therapy dog. He was a member of the New York, New Jersey Port Authority Police Department and worked as an explosives detection dog, and it was the only dog to die in the 9/11 attacks. Wow. Sirius and his partner, Officer David Lim, were working in the basement of the World Trade Center South Tower checking vehicles for explosives when the attack happened. Wow, so they were just
What are the chances?
Yeah, that's crazy. So they were just in there doing their job,
Just
looking for
going on
explosives.
patrol.
Yeah, man, damn. Officer Lim put Sirius in his kennel in the basement and left to help those in the North Tower. So he probably didn't realize what was going on. He's like, here, you stay here. I'm going to go check shit out.
So we left the dog in the
Yeah,
basement?
put him in
Just
the
tied
kennel.
Oh, in the kennel?
Yeah, so let's see where this goes. Officer Lim survived but had to go to the hospital for injuries. He was not able to make it back to the basement for Sirius before the South Tower fell.
Oh.
Sirius died and his body was recovered on January 22nd, 2002. He received full police honors upon recovery. My kids played with him, Lim said. We miss him a lot. He's got a pretty dope statue, though. Check this thing out.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like the coolest dog ever. Doesn't it kind of
Yeah.
look like a bear?
A little bit.
That's what I was saying. All right, so the 9/11 dogs were able to search large areas faster than humans. They were able to search areas that were too unstable for humans. They searched day and night without the equipment humans had, like face masks. Many were injured, but were taken care of afterwards. Injuries that were not too serious were tended to, and then they were back on the job. So they tweaked their ankle a little bit. They're going right back in, man. Dogs trained for rescue, not recovery. So somehow they knew there were no survivors left. So it seems like that was kind of a weird sentence, but it seems like they just didn't really want to go back in after they knew like there were no survivors. Like it's like they searched so much that they finally were like, no, like we're done. Everybody else is dead. Like, yeah, they just kind of lost hope.
Oh, man.
But they did continue, although it says that they kind of stopped, but they did continue. It just seemed like they were a little bit sad. Personal items were also found by the dogs to be given to families of the deceased. This was a devastating time in U.S. history, obviously, and dogs were there to help mankind. And that's the wrap. That's the wrap up, bud. That's it.
Those
But
are some great stories.
all fucking heroes. Love all of those dogs, man. Love them all. Love them all. Especially this last one. Even though he died in his kennel, he looks so cool.
Yeah. No, those are great stories.
If I'm
Good
gonna
work.
If I'm gonna say one thing, Greg, you should purchase a dog based on how you want it to look. Don't think about temperament. Don't think about anything else. Just strictly what you want it to look like.
That'll end well.
Don't do that, people.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, that's all the stories for today.
All right. Good job.
Go.
All right. Goodbye. Thank you. Wag more, bark less. Scott?
Wag more, bark less. I was trying to bring up the mood, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got deep. We got
we're
deep.
Good. We're good.
It's all good.
Tell us where they can find us.
Tell them where we can follow.
Tell the humans
humans.
and non-kin. What?
All right.
Go.
Barkology podcast pretty much everywhere and Barkology Pod on Twitter. We got a few new things going on, but barkology.podbean.com if you want to get up on that platform. If you want to get some gear, go to barkology.itemorder.com. Love you.
Get the wag swag.
The wag swag. Get it. Get it. Get it. Love you guys, though, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Wag more, bug less. Ah!
Baby.